couple of drones now morphing in for our Zerg player. So they'll be about even in the income tab. These Zerglings are going to be moving across the stage, actually going to be evading that Mech statue, getting by it before it started attacking them. That's always crucial when you're playing CombatEX. Going to be moving into the killing fields of these cannons, getting a nice surround on this cannon. Now we see units warping in for our Protoss player. A wave of Zealots going to be taking out these Zerglings, it looks like. Actually going for the pylon and almost managing to take it out, but will not be able to. And now we see CombatEX continuing to BM his opponents. Of course, tradition dictates that CombatEX must never allow 1 minute of in-game time to pass before he once again insults his opponent. He actually has 2 robos online right now, both churning out Colossi. So CombatEX is getting quite the base up right in here. Also getting extended thermal lance, continuing to insult Destiny. Of course, that is what CombatEX is so very good at. Meanwhile, CombatEX is getting that ground armor level 1 and an infestation pit online. We'll see if infestors play a huge role in today's game. These Zealots, fresh off of killing more Zerglings, are going to be going after these Zerglings. Getting a few of them. It looks like they will actually take out all of those Zerglings. Destiny mismanaging them a little bit right there and not helping them escape from the ire of those Protoss units. We have these 2 Void Rays just hovering over the Protoss army. Alright, serious information right now. Actually, jumping out of sarcasm mode. Void Rays are very useful if you can group them with the majority of your army, because they can sit in the back and fully charge their Void Rays, and then you'll be doing a lot of damage from the back, and that actually really helps. So Void Rays are very useful. Alright, back into sarcasm mode. We have Colossi on the field. 2 Colossi along with 5 Void Rays, so a very good unit composition right now for our Protoss player. Going to be able to tank the damage with the Colossi and then DPS with these Void Rays in the back. So very effective right there. Meanwhile, Destiny is getting a 3rd hatchery over here, just now getting that underway, so he will shortly be on 3 bases, because of course he is doing a lot right now, transitioning into infestors as well as producing more units and getting upgrades. Also getting those pathogen glands to make his infestors as productive as possible right from the get-go. These 5 Void Rays trying to scout out the area and see what they can do in the way of harming Destiny's economy, or maybe even taking out this hatchery. It will be in danger of going down. There's nothing here to defend it, and these 5 Void Rays are going to be stumbling on quite a prize, finding an undefended hatchery that's about halfway done spawning. Destiny will be forced to cancel that, and this drone will try to hightail it out of there before it gets fried by Void Rays. And it looks like it does manage to escape. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like a proxy pylon was being warped in, but it was surrounded by those drones, so it had to be canceled. CombatEX will be super sad about that, but it's okay because he has quite a formidable ground army now. It's 5 Colossi along with about 6, or that's actually 9 or 11 Zealots rather. I can count, I promise, along with 1 single Stalker. This is a crucial part of your composition to get that single Stalker so it can do damage from the back. Meanwhile, CombatEX is opting to take the gold expansion, so being very, very fortunate right here that he's actually able to take this gold expansion without much opposition. We'll see if Destiny allows him to do so, or if he tries to neutralize that before too long. Destiny has gotten this 3rd base once again underway, so he will try to defend it a little bit better this time. He does have a wave of infestors out on the field now. These are 6 infestors, going to be trying to use those as well as possible. We'll have to keep an eye out on them to see if they can find their way to a mineral line and harass CombatEX's units. CombatEX, meanwhile, is getting more Colossi on the way, so he will have quite a few Colossi on the field. 5 already, and it shortly will be 7 in number. Meanwhile, there are also Void Rays chilling over the top of this army. He's going for that classic Colossi Void Ray Zealots army with 1 Stalker just to top it all off, because of course that Stalker does more damage when it's around Void Rays. It's a little known fact, just keep that in mind whenever you're playing Protoss. Stalkers do more damage, directly related to how many Void Rays are in their line of sight. Just always keep that in mind, as now we see long distance mining because he didn't time this correctly. CombatEX choosing to not time his probe transition correctly, actually wanted to long distance mine these gold minerals, because doing so allows you to let these minerals last longer, because long distance mining takes longer to mine those minerals, so he will actually be able to hold this gold expansion for even longer than he needs to, which is always a crucial portion of any game that you play. We have Destiny's composition right now, mostly infestors and a wave of Zerglings as well, along with 1 queen thrown in there just for good measure. His 3rd base has finally gotten underway and is up and running, starting to get that saturated as well. We see some decent creep spread out of Destiny, getting a little bit of an arc around his 3 bases over here, connecting all of his bases, so good use of creep in that regard. He does have a Zergling right here because he expected CombatEX to take this base as his third, but spoiler alert, CombatEX deciding to be very, very brave and take the gold expansion, and he's actually going to be putting a cannon in his mineral line. This is crucial because you don't want your probes to be able to mine these two mineral patches very effectively, which is why you put this cannon right in the way, which means if the probes want to even get to this mineral patch, they have to go around it or even behind it. That ensures that it takes as long as possible to mine these gold minerals because you want this base to be yours for as long as possible. Over here, we have Void Rays going to be exploring the place, but a lot of investors might ruin their day. Going to be getting one fungal off, probably going to be chaining fungals now. These Void Rays are completely helpless, and CombatEX knows that the fact is these Void Rays are going to die. They can't even get an attack in edgewise, as these Void Rays are just sitting here getting fungal growth to death, and there they go. They will all explode in one wave of exploding goodness. Combat is so sad about that. He's actually so sad that he's laughing so hard he's crying. And also, he's getting a fourth Nexus up here at the normal third expansion, getting that right around 2/3 of the way to being completed now. His units right now have only the one attack upgrade, but he's actually going out on a limb and getting the ground armor level 1 as well. Because when you're a Protoss player and your units have shields, once those shields, you see this 150 out of 150, once that's 0 out of 150, your units actually take damage to their hull, which is this green number right here, and if you get this armor upgrade, it'll take less damage per attack. So a very effective strategy being employed by CombatEX, actually allowing his units to live longer. Meanwhile, CombatEX's probe has a mouthful of gold minerals and is effectively scouting out this hatchery for Destiny, who is actually double expanding right now, taking both the 6 o'clock expansions down here at the 6 o'clock player's base. And now we have Void Rays going to be coming in to ruin this hatchery's day. He will be super sad about that because there is once again nothing here to defend that. Meanwhile, CombatEX is moving out with his army. Look at this Colossi city right now. That's 9 Colossi in the back with about a dozen Zealots in front to tank the damage. They don't have the Void Rays or the one single Stalker here though, which is a problem. We'll see if he's able to weather the storm. And now Zerglings are coming in to surround. One Zealot will be able to take it out, but those Zerglings are being rapidly roasted away by the frying power of these Colossi beams. But Neural Parasite going off, taking about half of the Colossi mines over. Now we have Colossi versus Colossi. Short-range thermal lance. That extended range does not even matter right now, as point-blank laser beams ripping each other apart. As we have Infestors also getting fried, so unfortunate for them, but a bunch of Roaches and Zerglings managed to clean out all 9 of those Colossi, and CombatEX even has to admire the sexy play that was Neural Parasites along with surrounds with Zerglings and Roaches. So very well done right there by our Zerg player, because of course Roaches, Lings, and Infestors is the hard counter to Colossi and Zealots. Keep that in mind whenever your opponent is going Colossi heavily, because when they do so, all you have to do is take every single one of them over with Neural Parasites and then attack each other with them, and then you win the game. But we still have these Void Rays to worry about along with one more Colossus. CombatEX is actually using the Stomp method right now. Rather than using this Colossus rather to attack with those laser beams, he's actually using the movement of the Colossus to stomp Zerglings. It's very ineffective, but it does do a little bit of damage. It's actually not even very difficult to notice. If you can't see it, it's your fault. Meanwhile, we have Dark Templars in the field as well for CombatEX. So a DT rush happening at the 25-minute mark. That's completely cheesy right now. I can't believe he would do that. We have Destiny. I'm not even sure if he's noticed these DTs. He could fungal growth to reveal them, but he's instead opting to Neural Parasite Void Rays, as that Neural Parasite works just as well on Void Rays as it does on Colossi. So now we have Void Rays against Void Rays, and Colossi going to be joining the battle as well. These DTs are still loose inside the army of Destiny. We'll see how long it takes for him to notice that. Infested Terrans are going up just to finish off his base. We have one Void Ray still attacking all of these units, but it will get taken out by Infested Terrans. This one DT is still sitting here. He's up to 8 kills. Oh my goodness, this DT is so good, but it does get taken out. Unfortunate for that DT. It was already at Mentor, but it could not get to the next upgrade at 10 kills. So sad about that. We have a Nexus going up for CombatEX, and he's actually going to be employing the leaving the game strategy. I'm not sure how Destiny will respond to this, but it does look like Destiny will win by default because CombatEX did indeed leave this game. Let's just take a look at the units lost tab. Looks like CombatEX decided to lose almost 18,000 resources, while Destiny did not get the memo and didn't even lose 10,000. So Destiny just being a complete spoil sport this game and not going along with CombatEX's strategy of losing a lot of resources. Alright, but in all seriousness, we did see Destiny able to weather the early storm that was CombatEX strategy and punish him for this ridiculous composition that consisted of 5 gateways and 2 stargates off of his one single base mining, and then he eventually transitioned into 2 base with 2 more robos as well. And CombatEX decided to go, for some reason, Colossi and Void Rays, and basically Infestors shut that down pretty handily, just with Roaches and Zerglings to make sure that they mopped up any survivors. So well played by Destiny, able to beat CombatEX, and you gotta love that when we see CombatEX lose. Actually, a new kitten is born every time CombatEX loses, and angels actually get their wings as well. So everyone had a good day right now except for CombatEX, but hey, that doesn't matter because he is a huge troll. At any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed that cast, and in all seriousness, I will do serious casts after this one, but it was just too much fun. I saw CombatEX's name, and I had to, you know, have some fun with it and kind of do a troll cast on trolls playing the game. I will move on to some serious casts now. That was fun though, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys next time.